I'm Renee.
And I'm Anthony, and we are the voices, healers, and channelers behind Blue Soul Earth. We connect to higher levels of consciousness to bring forth divine energies, to heal and to teach ancient wisdom.
These energies that we access from higher dimensions largely consist of the ascended masters that humanity across cultures knows really well. They are many, but they speak collectively as one voice. And for simplicity's sake, we call them our spirit team.
How we channel as a couple is very unique. The energies we channel come down through Renee's crown chakra, through her solar plexus, into my solar plexus, and then back up through my crown chakra, and it forms a three-dimensional triangle that's used to heal and to teach.
These energies flow through us a bit like an infinity 8. The symbolism behind why and how this happens is actually pretty profound.
It's actually accessing divine feminine and divine masculine energies, weaving them together to form one energy to heal and to teach.
We will be channeling different topics in roughly 10 to 15 minute segments that will be part of our Blue Soul Wisdom series.
So if you're just starting out on your spiritual journey,
or if you'd like to access higher levels of consciousness,
or you'd like to take your healing practice to the next level,
then join us.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Anthony.
And I'm Renee. And we are here today to talk about shamanic healing and shamanic breathwork.
Today we're going to talk about the importance of breathing, diaphragmic breathing, and why it's so important to breathe correctly, especially when you are meditating or even going throughout your day, and how it is important when you're connecting to higher realms.
So regardless of whether you see yourself as a healer or not, breath work is critically important. It aligns your body and it allows you to be present and connected.
And I think what breath work also does is that it helps to calm the body, and it lowers the resistance and allows you to connect with your spirit guides as well.
Breathing in oxygen, the power of that breath is so important to the vitality of life as well. It can increase your immune system, it can make you feel better overall, add to your joy, inner happiness.
And the yogis say, it's not so much about the quality of your breath, but the number of breaths that we have in our lifetime. That is to slow the breath. And as we slow the breath, we increase our lifespan.
So we're going to bring forth our guides and have a short chit-chat about the power of the breath. Anthony begins to connect to our guides, make a connection, and bring them through. I'm going to read just a short piece from the Book of Shamanic Healing by Kristen Madden. There are enormous benefits of breath control, otherwise known as pranayama. As Swami Rama describes the science of pranayama, it's intimately connected with the atomic nervous system and brings in functioning under conscious control through the functioning of the lungs. By the simple control of breath, we can remain calm and centered. In teaching these methods to those we are healing, we also are able to provide them with the tools that they need to manage and reduce their connection to fear and their connection to pain.
It is always an honor and privilege to be in your presence, Gaia. Thank you for receiving us.
Thanks, guys. It's so great to see you here this evening. We're talking about pranayama and breath control, and how, particularly when it relates to stress, we live in stressful times right now, or when we're anxious, or if we have physical or emotional pain and trauma, using breath control to bring us back to center and manage the pain and the emotions.
We'll tell you again to just sit, because it is when you just sit, you breathe. You have forgotten how to breathe. As a baby, the things that you do most is breathe. You lay on your back or your belly and you breathe. But as you've gotten older and more stressful, You start to take your breath from here, above, when you should be taking your breath from here, below. Fill the belly, expand the lungs.
So breathing out so you actually can see your belly rise.
As the abdomen rises or becomes bigger like a ball, your lungs will inflate with oxygen. The more oxygen you have, the better the blood flow. The better the blood flow, the better are your organs, and so on and so forth.
We often forget to breathe, particularly when we're stressed.
That is correct. Pranayama is a type of breathing that helps you to slow down. And why is it that you wish to slow down? Well, we'll tell you why. When you slow down the breath, you increase the oxygen flow throughout your body. More oxygen to your body, more oxygen into your organs. And the better the oxygen flow, the longer life you have within. Slow the breath. Another reason for slowing your breath is this. As you slow down your breath, you start to connect easier with us. That is to say, beta, delta. You start to go down, down, and down into a theta brain state. And you wish to do that by controlling your breath as well. It's one way to do it. And when you're able to control your breath and get into a theta state of consciousness, this is when you will connect to the higher realms as well. It feels good when you slow down your breath. But you know when the most difficult time is to slow down your breath is when you're in pain.
Physical pain.
Yes. You and Anthony have experienced that, haven't you?
We have. So talk to people about that. People who are suffering from physical pain, what kind of breathing they can do to make them feel more connected and also reduce the stress on their body.
When you are in physical pain, the stress levels increase. And when the stress levels increase, resistance increases. Your ability to connect with us, with the spiritual realms, decreases. Your body becomes, what is the word? Inflamed.
Inflamed and tense, and obviously with more inflammation, if not treated, this can turn into disease over time.
Inflammation of the body is like your 5G. It's an interference. When you have a lot of inflammation in the body, you have it's like having 5G all around you. Your body cannot connect to higher realms. It's very difficult because of the inflammation of your body, your brain, your organs. That is why it's so important to fill the belly.
What about Ujjayi breath that many yogis are familiar with?
It is the breath that we use with Anthony. We will constrict the back of his throat. In the nose, out the nose. Your mouth is closed. By constricting the back of the throat, you automatically have to slow the breath. As you slow the breath, you slowly decrease resistance. You slowly become slower. And when you slow down, you go into what you refer to as a theta brain consciousness, and you're able to connect. So slowing down the breath not only has benefits for you physically, it has benefits for you spiritually as well. The more you connect with your spirit, the better you will be physically. You have access not only to the physical realm, but also to the spiritual realm. That's what we call a win-win situation. Or that's what you call a win-win situation. And that's a win-win for all of us. Because when you connect to us, we're able to connect to you. And then you're able to teach others how to slow down their breath and connect.
And when people are able to connect, they're much more awareness of the fact that there is no separation and that we are all interconnected. And that gives us the ability to understand what humanitarian oneness is really all about.
That is correct. You are starting to become one spirit.
One universal consciousness.
Yes, you're living in the present moment as well. So you become one, not only with yourself, but with universal consciousness and the others as well. You see, you really are just one universal spirit, but you are like a beautiful rainbow of colors. Many of you don't see that, unfortunately. Breath.
The power of breath.
It is true, the power of breath. Slow down the breath. Slow down the consciousness. Slow down the inflammation of the body. And therefore you will connect with universal consciousness.
What about different forms of breathing like they do in Kundalini yoga, where you place the finger on one side of the nose and you're breathing in one side and then you breathe out the other side?
You're doing that in measurements of time, seconds. That's just another way, another method of teaching you how to slow down the breath. It also helps to clear the meridians on your body as well. It's breath work, how to control your breath work. When you practice your breath work every day, you will find that you will be breathing like that throughout the day as well. Everything starts to slow down and you become more present with everything. And that is the beauty of it, you see. But it's practice. Thank you for having us again. We are certain we'll be back very soon.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. And thank you for receiving us and listening to our message. Om Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti. So as our guides leave, Anthony's going to come back and connect to the here and now in this realm, and he'll be back shortly. But we thank you so much for joining us today to talk about the power of breath and how understanding it and slowing your breath down and learning how to breathe correctly, like we did as babies, can really lead to longer life, healthier life.
And I think it helps you get through some of the more difficult times in your life as well, when you can slow your breath down, especially when you're in pain.
And also to remember too, just during a stressful day, to breathe. So often we forget just to breathe. And when we remember to breathe, it's important to remember how to breathe correctly.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. We'll see you soon.